Hey guys, I know it's been a really long time since I've posted. Making the videos is kind of new to me, so sometimes I'll get busy with the kids and I just completely forget about it. I homeschool them, plus I've got a husband and pets and a house to run. And I mean, you guys know if you're living, you know what it's all about. But I also wanted to get on here and talk to you guys a little bit about something that has been bothering me, but I kind of needed to cool down before I made a video about it because I felt like had I made the video when it was fresh, when it had just happened, there would have been a lot of cussing. I mean, I was so angry. And not just angry, but hurt. And anybody that's close to me knows that when I get hurt, I lash out. Like, I say things that I regret later on and I end up having to apologize for. It's a horrible trait that I have, and I try so hard not to do it. But I wanted to take this time to calm down, to collect my thoughts, to make sure that I wasn't just going off on a rampage. So, what I wanted to talk to you guys about is when somebody shares a trauma with you. I'm having my coffee right now, and I put way too much creamer in it. Ugh, I'm going to have to add more coffee to this. But anyways, when somebody shares something with you about their life, whether it be a trauma or something traumatic that happened, or a, almost like a secret, not even a secret, but yes, even if it is a secret, but somebody shares something horrific, or I just said it like 3 times, traumatizing with you. Okay, somebody shares something like that with you. That doesn't give you a license to use that as ammunition to attack them. At all. If somebody shares something with you that they struggle with, or that is hard for them, or anything like that, that doesn't give you the right to throw it back in their face and make them feel like shit. Even if somebody doesn't share something with you, if you can see that somebody is struggling with something, like let's say, okay, for me, I struggle with my weight. It wouldn't give anybody the ammunition to come back and just throw that back in my face. Am I aware that I'm overweight? Yes, I'm well aware of it. I live with it every single day of my life. I don't need somebody coming back and being nasty or ugly to me. To be clear, this is not what was thrown back into my face. It wasn't anything about my weight. But I'm just using that as an example. If somebody is vulnerable enough with you and shares something with you that you didn't know about them, it doesn't give you the right to get angry with them and then say, oh, you know what? I know exactly what will trigger her or him, and send them over the deep end, and then act like the victim when they lash out to you. It's unfair and it's not right. Yes, it happened to me and I was livid. So, another thing that I have spoken about and I've told you guys about, because I jumped around from foster home to foster home, I'm adopted, I have a mother that pretty much just did not want me. I developed a defense mechanism for that crap, where I could just cut you out of my life like that. Whether you are a big part of my life or you are a very small fraction part of my life. So, with that said, somebody took something that I had shared on my YouTube channel and then used that as ammunition and threw it right back into my face and made me feel this big. At first, I was angry. I was so unbelievably angry. I went off, I lashed out, and then came the feeling horrible about myself. Not just for what she had said about me, but also for what I had said about her or said to her. I felt bad. Because no matter what she said to me, I'm an adult and I have control over what I say to other people. I'm the only one that is in control of what comes out of my mouth. So I apologized for what I had said, but I didn't apologize for the way I felt, the way the person made me feel. But I cut that person out of my life. I'm done. We didn't have really a relationship much at all. So cutting this person out means nothing to me. I will probably never see them. And if I did, I have nothing to say to them because what was done was a really deep, it was a low blow. And I just don't have the patience or even the want to deal with somebody so nasty. So that was just a little bit of what I wanted to talk about. Just remember, you don't know what other people are going through. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Yes, I laugh and make jokes and I smile and I manage my depression, but there's always hard times. There's always the trauma that has happened in my life in the back of my head, and it could be triggered for anything can trigger it. But I just don't want to put up with people in my life like that. I don't have time for it. I have children, I have a husband, I have a family that love me very much. And if you're not one of those people that care about me, then I don't care about you. I don't. I really don't. But on a lighter note, Christmas is coming up. Marina's birthday is coming up this Saturday. She's going to be 8 years old. I can't believe she's going to be 8. Jaden turned 11 last month. The day before my birthday, I turned 43. So as of Saturday, I will have a 5, 11, and 8-year-old kids. It's funny to think that my kids are that old because, I mean, just 13 years ago, I never dreamt that I was ever going to be a mother at all. Like, I was getting older and I didn't have any kids and I wasn't married to Mario yet. And I just didn't think it was in the cards for me. But God had a plan, and I just had to let that plan lay out in its own time. I think I tried to rush it myself, and it wasn't working. And it wasn't working. I was dating deadbeat after deadbeat. But it's funny to think that. So what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? I think my sister is going to throw Thanksgiving. I've said this in a previous video. My sister bought my mom and dad's house, the house that we grew up in. So she is raising her children in our childhood home, which I think is amazing. But she's hosting Thanksgiving at her house this year because, it's her first year in her own house. She was renting before. And so I think that's really cool for her. But we're all going over there. And then for Christmas, we're going to stay home because I like to let the kids open their stockings. And then we open presents, have breakfast, and then the kids just play with their toys all day. And we just sit in our PJs and just relax. So what are you guys doing for Christmas? I know a lot of people travel. Are you going anywhere? Are you... I think it'd be cool to get my kids like a trip somewhere one year for Christmas. I would love to, one year take them to Disney World. That would be an amazing trip. Disney World, I mean, come on. But yeah, that's, basically what we've been up to. Not much around here. Jaden's in 5th grade. Marina's in no, second grade. I forget sometimes because each day bleeds into the next, and then Desi's in kindergarten. And so, we just do our schoolwork, and then I get the cleaning done that I need to get done for the day, and the laundry sits in there because I hate laundry. Does anybody else let their laundry build up till it's like, hey, I need underwear, or I'm running out of socks? And then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do some laundry. I hate laundry. I hate it. I was a live-in nanny for 10 years, and part of my job was doing the family laundry, and so I would have to keep up on other people's laundry. So I hate doing laundry now. Like, and that's another thing. Because I was a nanny for so long, and I also took care of kids before, you have to realize I'm the oldest of 5, and my next sibling down is 7 years younger than me. So I was quite a bit older than all my siblings. So I was essentially like the live-in babysitter. Whenever my mom and dad have to go anywhere, I babysat. So I've been taking care of kids forever. I hate the park. I've put my time in. I've spent hundreds of hours at parks. I hate going to the park. It's funny because the things that I had to put up with when I was in my 20s, like going to the park all the time or doing laundry all the time or stuff like that I had to do all the time, and like a large amount of it, I hate doing it now with my kids. It's not to say that I never go to the park. I mean, here in Bakersfield, I don't go to the park in the summertime at all. It's too freaking hot. But, yeah, with the coronavirus going on, I keep telling the kids, the park's closed. And then we'll drive by and they're like, but there's kids there. And I'm like, well, they're not supposed to be. They're breaking the law. They're going to get a ticket. I hate the park. I hate going to the park. I don't like it. I don't know. What are some things that you think you do? I mean, you do because you have to, but you just can't stand doing it. I mean, I know that there's a lot of things, but whenever I tell people I don't like going to the park, they're surprised. They're like, what? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've put my time in at the park. I just don't like the park. Oh, and then another thing I was going to share with you guys. I don't know if I told you guys, but because I haven't been on here in a while, but I had some tests done with a neurologist for my for the constant pain I was having in my arms, hands, and shoulders. I thought my tennis elbow was getting worse because I was diagnosed with tendonitis like before I had Jaden. And I just thought that was getting worse. But like, I can't open things anymore. My wrists, like I have no like range of motion really in my wrists and my hands and my shoulders. And I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I can't physically put on deodorant. I had to switch to a spray so that I could spray it on because I cannot, my shoulder just doesn't allow me to bend that far. So I had a test done with a neurologist. They tested me for carpal tunnel. And the test result came back that I had carpal tunnel in both of my arms and shoulders. And it's like all over my nerves and stuff. And so they said, well, we have 2 options. We can either give you these shots. They were talking about these shots, or there's surgery. I've had a lot of surgery, like not a ton of it, but I've had 3 C-sections and I had a gastric surgery, and then I'm getting ready to have another gastric surgery. So the thought of having another surgery, I just didn't want to do it. So I said, well, let's try the injections first and see if those work. And then if they don't, then we'll move on to the surgery if I have to. So the doctor's, okay, that's fine. The soonest available appointment they had is January. So I am on a a prescription medication for nerve pain, but it barely, I mean, I'm still in horrible pain all the time. Like my arms just, that's another reason why I hate doing laundry, because I have to use my arms and stuff. Like I can't even physically lift my arm to hang the clothes because in my bedroom, we have the really high hanging and then we have a low bar to hang stuff low. I can't hang anything high because I can't physically lift the clothes up high to hang them. They're too heavy and I can't get my arm that high above my head. So I have to leave those on the bed for Mario to hang when he gets home, or Jaden helps me out. I mean, Jaden is a huge help. Like, he's 11 years old and he has to open everything. I'm like, if it's like brand new, I'm like, Jaden, can you open this? I can't get it open because I just cannot grip anything anymore. My hands just don't work like that. So, like, it's weird. You don't realize what carpal tunnel will affect. Like even going grocery shopping, it's hard for me to push the cart. Okay, so grocery shopping is a nightmare for me because I'm carrying so much weight. Walking around kills my lower back. I mean, it just kills it. So when I'm shopping, I have to hold on to the cart to like kind of have a little bit of something to lean on so it's not so bad. But the act of actually pushing the cart kills my shoulders because of my carpal tunnel. So I have to keep switching with Jaden. Like, here, Jaden, you do it, and then I have to push, and then he's got to push. So, I mean, just little things like that. And then even driving. Like, I can drive short distances, but keeping my arm extended on the wheel and actually holding onto the wheel with my hand is really hard. Like, I'm in a lot of pain. If I have to drive more than 30 minutes, my hands and arms and shoulders are killing me. I mean, they hurt so bad. So I'm really hoping these injections work because I really, 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 really do not want to have surgery on my hand. I mean, I will. If it means that I don't have to be in this constant pain all the time, I totally will. And like my hips hurt you got to understand, I have a Sleep Number bed, and this bed is getting old. I should have done a little bit more research before I bought it. The beds don't last. I mean, I should have done research, really. So my bed, like you can air one side up to you can have like one side firm and the other. I mean, this was like almost a $4,000 bed when we bought it. And now it will not hold air. And we can't figure out where the air is coming out. So like I will wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like completely flat on the frame. The bed has completely lost all the air. And like typically I would have it set anywhere from like 45 to 50. That would be like a comfortable setting for me. But because it loses air, I crank it all the way up to 100, which makes the bed like hard as a rock. But at least it's like completely even hard as a rock. Because when the air when the air escapes out of the bed, I'm basically laying in like a hole like this. So like the top of me is kind of up and then my legs are kind of up. So all my weight is basically on my hip. So my hip is like killing me, and then I've got to get my phone and crank up the air again. So I'm like constantly cranking up the air on the bed because it keeps losing air. So I don't sleep at all. Plus, I already suffer from insomnia. I mean it's controlled a little bit, but I get like no sleep anymore. So after Christmas, I'm going to have to look into a new bed because I can't take this anymore. This bed is shit. Don't get a Sleep Number because this bed was amazing when I first got it and now it's complete crap. Because yeah, I could replace the chamber because we thought it was the hose that was doing it, but we did some stuff, that they tell you to do to try to fix it, but it's not the hose. So it's got to be actually the actual air chamber, and those things are expensive. They are not cheap. And I mean, for what I would have to pay to, you know, change the air chamber, and knowing that it eventually 6-7 years down the road I have to change them again, I might as well buy something that I'm not going to have to keep changing parts out of. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just not worth it to me anymore. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Just thought I'd share that with you. I am going to do the chip challenge. I'm hoping this Sunday. I'm going to try to do it on Sunday. Marina's birthday is on Saturday, and we are going to go to lunch. Her favorite is pizza, so we're going to go have pizza with my mom and dad. My mom and dad are bringing my grandma, and then I think my father-in-law is going to go with us as well. So we're going to go have pizza and give her gifts and, you know, have some cake or whatever. And so just celebrate her turning 8. I can't believe she's turning 8. I mean, oh gosh, I can't believe she's turning 8. It's so crazy how fast it goes. I remember me being a kid to the age of 30. That time frame seemed to last 100 years. And then I had Jaden in 2009. It's now 2020, and it went by in a blink of an eye. I never understood when people with kids would say, cherish it because it goes by really fast. And I'm like, what are you talking about? A year is a year to everybody. It's just a year. But it's not. It just goes by so incredibly fast. I mean, just enjoy the time you have with your kids and just, I love them. I mean, I know you're loving your kids, but you know what I mean. Just cherish those moments because you will not get it back. It goes by too fast and you're not going to get it back. So with that said, my next video will most likely be on Saturday, on Sunday, and we'll do that chip challenge. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Oh, so if you guys have any tricks, because I'm going to have milk on hand to drink. I've heard that like milk and like white bread. I'm keto, so I'm totally throwing it out the window for this challenge, because if I have to eat and drink milk and bread, I will, to beat the heat. But if you guys can think of anything else that I should have sitting there with me, I don't know that Mario's going to need anything, because he seriously puts so much wasabi on one piece of sushi. Like, he puts more wasabi on one piece of sushi than I would use on 2 rolls. Like, I'm like, how do you fit that much in your mouth? He's got a really high threshold for heat. But I'm curious to see how he'll do. I don't know that he's going to talk much, because Mario, like a lot of you know, Mario is a huge introvert. Once he's comfortable with you, like with me, he's hysterical and outgoing and stuff. But if he's just very quiet, and, you know, and it took some convincing to get him to do this video with me anyways. So I don't know how much, you know, talking he's going to do. But I think when we do it, it's going to be a live, so that, you know, I'm just going to do a live on Saturday. I'll just have to decide with him on what time will work, or on Sunday. I keep saying Saturday. On Sunday, because he watches football on Sunday. You know, there's NFL and then there's college. I mean, if you know, you know. So anyways, with that said, thanks for watching. I love you guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like my video. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.